Hey there, I, the Big Bad Wolf, am doing yet another one of these vlogs, mentioning a few things like Disney's impending live-action remakes of their animated classics, and we're still getting 4 of them to be released this year. The Dumbo remake, directed by Tim Burton, comes out at the end of this month, and so far that seems to be the only one people are actually looking forward to and may be successful. Then we had the remakes of Aladdin, The Lion King, and Lady and the Tramp to be released, though the latter is going directly to Disney's impending streaming service, Disney+. Oh, and later this year there'll also be a sequel to that Maleficent film from 5 years ago. Jeez, Disney's really going crazy this year. And there's already quite a bit of backlash for the Lion King remake, since the movie had an all-animal cast, and thus the remake is just CGI characters against live-action backgrounds, not unlike their 2000 movie Dinosaur. And with the Aladdin remake, it's due to casting Will Smith as the genie. I know they intended the genie in this movie to be very different from the animated version, hilariously voiced by the late Robin Williams, even if he's blue. But I wonder if this Will Smith genie will do any of his usual clean rap.
Woo! I respect women when I'm on a date. I take them to the park or maybe a museum, and I only try to kiss them if they're ready. Woohoo! What? I say what?
And speaking of that, yes, the Disney buyout of 21st Century Fox at the insane price of $71 billion will include the Fox animated shows like Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, and The Simpsons. Heck, The Simpsons made fun of that in a recent episode.
Disney's already laying ground for a new Family Guy world.
I was the It Boy in 2006.
And even with this buyout, Disney's aware of how The Simpsons is not the big ratings machine it used to be, often pulling in the lowest ratings of whatever on network TV on Sunday night. And financially, the new episodes have been a loss for the Fox network. Like a string of box office bombs, it will remain separate from Disney under the name New Fox. But The Simpsons still brings in money through merchandise and the reruns on FXX. Heck, the reruns of the 90s episodes on FXX tend to pull in higher ratings than the newest episodes, since they're so much better than the newer ones are. But Fox decided to take a gamble and renew The Simpsons for seasons 31 and 32, to see if the show still gives a mediocre performance in ratings and money. And Homer is not too thrilled about that. And if it still does do poorly, Disney will then pull the plug. Of course, Family Guy performs even worse nowadays, which makes sense, as they've really gone down the drain this decade. And that got renewed as well. I guess Fox doesn't mind throwing away money these days. But the Disney Fox deal's expected to close next week. Yep, March 20th. They're getting closer too. Mexico's telecom regulators just approved of the purchase. Out of all the corporate buyouts Disney has done, like the Muppets, Pixar, Marvel Comics, and Lucasfilm, this one seems to be the most controversial, especially when Comcast got involved in that bidding war. Sheesh. Also at Disney Plus, they say they're going to include all the Disney animated classics, including titles currently in the Vault. And from what I've seen, the Disney Vault's days may soon be numbered. Disney seems aware of how people can see and obtain those animated classics anytime, thanks to the used video market, or even bootlegging. A good example is the Snow White Signature Collection release that came out over 3 years ago, still currently available for purchase, compared to when it was previously released in the Masterpiece, Platinum, and Diamond collections, where it was indeed out for a limited time. In fact, all the Signature Collection titles, that's 8 of them. Although I only have 3 of them here right now. Curses. Yeah, the signature edition titles like this. They can still be purchased on Blu-ray and digital download. Though Disney did experiment with them in autumn 2016, when Beauty and the Beast got released in the Signature Collection for its 25th anniversary, and to promote the live-action remake, Walt Disney Home Video had that promotion where they temporarily brought out all the Order Princess titles, even the ones that were vaulted at that time, like Cinderella and the Little Mermaid, which came out just a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago now. And so you could buy them all at the same time. I guess that promotion worked out pretty well. It's so different from back in the 1980s, when they began releasing their animated classics on home video and started the vault practice. That was because Disney was initially hesitant to release those films on video, feeling that they should follow Walt's idea that they should be exclusive to movie theater reissues, like it's a big special event, depending on who you've heard it from. I heard from someone else that Walt did want families to eventually be able to enjoy watching his animated features at home. And not just Dumbo and Alice in Wonderland that he first showed in the 50s. Dumbo was because it was one of his favorite movies that the studio produced and it had a very short running time. And Alice in Wonderland was because it was a major box office bomb and Walt wasn't that fond of it. As a result, both titles came to home video in the early 80s as part of the regular Walt Disney Home Video line. And then a few years after that, Disney decided to try out releasing the other vaulted animated classics on home video, with the whole moratorium practice that they started then, so they could still possibly re-release theatrically. It was such a big deal, Walt Disney Home Video started up their Black Diamond Classics collection to release those movies. But due to Disney's aforementioned hesitance, the first title in the Classics collection in 1984, or it turned out to be, get this, Robin Hood. And back then it wasn't very popular with children. It wasn't very popular except with children, though. And its theatrical reissue for 2 years ago didn't do so hot. Probably because of how many people felt it wasn't one of Disney's best. Even going as far as comparing it to a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Like I did in my popular YouTube poop, Disney buys out Hanna-Barbera. But still did fairly well on video, and it has since become a cult classic of sorts, and is especially popular with the furries. Just like how Zootopia is today. The Disney Classics collection really helped make Walt Disney Home Video what it is today. Especially when they released Pinocchio and Sleeping Beauty to video afterwards to high sales. I still wonder what Walt Disney would think of all this. But besides that, I had a lot of fun at Anthro New England nearly 3 weeks ago now. This year, we had 2,251 attendees. Compare that to the first Anthro New England, where we had 757 attendees. We're getting bigger and better. And when we did the big fursuit group photo, there were roughly 600 of us there. It was also fun when 300 of us went on that fursuit group walk through the Boston Common. I also had a lot of fun at the fursuit games this year, when I was on the red team and we won, just like at the first con in 2015. The fursuit recess event was also pretty fun, but I didn't get accepted to be in their A&E's Got Talent show this year, as they now do it differently. Well, I have been in it like for the past 4 years, so I guess it's a little change is good. Even so, each year I go to Anthro New England is more fun than the last, and this one was no exception. It was also fun to go around in my werewolf form, too, along with Nick Wilde, or the Attack of the WeirCon theme here. For Anthro New England 2020, they're going with the Roaring Twenties for the theme. Maybe I should go with my big bad wolf daddy routine for that one. Zoot suits were big in the 1920s. But anyways, I hope you liked this vlog I did, and I found some of the information useful. Next month I go to Anime Boston, so watch for me there.